Ladies and gents, it's Wednesday and it's time for an alternative paper review. And no prizes for guessing what the top story is across much of Fleet Street this morning. That's right, guys. The holy warrior of Hainault, who grabbed a sword and went on a killing spree yesterday, is, if not triggering a new holy war and opening up a vortex through which Jesus Christ returns to the earth, he is succeeding admirably in other areas, such as uniting the left and right of modern media. So we really must be in end of days territory. Now, I'm not going to go into this too deeply, mostly because I already spoke about it on last night's podcast. But if there's one takeaway from this for me, and by all means, you guys draw your own conclusions, but for me, I do think it's interesting that the guy who's crazy enough to go out on the killing spree is also crazy enough to believe in the big bearded guy in the sky. Like, maybe there's something in that, you know? Maybe if you're devoid of self enough, or you're loony, New Bedlam Asylum enough to believe in the magic guy in the sky, maybe you're also crazy enough to borrow Penny Mordaunt's sword off her and then go out on a killing spree. Also in The Guardian this morning, Minister lifts cap on faith school selection. This is a story that the government are looking to scrap that 50% faith schools thing. Like, basically at the moment, if you run a Church of England school, if you run an Islamic school, you have to open up your school to non-faith aligned pupils if there is an oversubscribed kind of problem, right? If there's more applicants than there are places in the local area, you've got to, it's like 50% then, you've got to let other people in. Now, understandably, religious leaders not particularly happy about this, although they are happy about another clause in this seminar, in this sort of fact-finding mission that the government are running. And you're going to love this. It says the consultation opened by the government today would also allow churches and religious groups to open faith schools for children with special educational needs, which campaigners warned could have ethical concerns. Why is that funny? Why are you laughing about that, Aid? Because it's just so perfect. You know, against the backdrop of all of these front pages this morning about the religious guy that goes on a killing spree, right? And then you've got this thing like, oh, you're going to scrap the 50% cap on kids, go, and all the religious leaders are like, oh, that means we're going to get more non-believers, more infidels, more pagans in. But then to balance the books, to ensure they've got enough easily led, highly impressionable minds going into their schools to go on to become the next generation of churchgoers and parishioners and all of that. Now they're replying, they're like, yeah, we should be allowed to run special needs schools. Finally to the Times. Immigration levels fall amid visas crackdown. Which is very much sort of red meat for the reform voters, isn't it? Like, down with immigration. Oh, immigration is bad. But I suppose a more accurate or honest way of reporting this would be, oh, look, the government have clamped down on student visas and the visas that we give to health workers, people who work in the NHS, in the care homes. We've clamped down on those. We were looking at, like, not making you able to bring over your dependents or your husband or your wife or whatever. Like, yes, we're vaguely-ish, broadly getting immigration numbers down, but also more honestly, we are starving your public services of the staff that they need to help you. I mean, it's difficult to work out what the end game solution is that they're going for here, isn't it? You'll get immigration numbers down. There won't be enough people to staff the public services on which we all rely. You know, we'll be poor, we'll be sick, we'll be desperate. We'll go knocking on the local authority's door like, where am I supposed to go? I've got a gammy leg, my son's sick, my wife's got syphilis. Where am I supposed to go? And they, at that point, will turn around and say, oh, right. Yeah, no, I'm sorry to hear about all of that. But listen, if you can't afford Bupa, don't worry about it, because just down the road, there's a Church of England clinic. Oh, wicked. Yeah, great. Good stuff. So the church will take care of the sick. Yeah, I guess we really are back into neo-Victorian times, aren't we? Guys, that's it for this one. I got to run. I'm up to London today. If you're not liked and subscribed, please do so. If you're in a position to join the Patreon or the YouTube community, then do consider that also. Until next time, I'm out this Mother Hubbard.